a gang that's based off of the hierarchy of elders, and like you spoke of the youngsters, they have to value your elders, man, because one day you're gonna be one. And so if you next up, why would you want to be a certain way with those and you're next? So you have to understand, like, the way a lot of them are, the exposure to this is big, but it can get confusing because people feel if they're on certain platforms, they get a higher hierarchy. And the name of this game is consistency. Show up every year, with the spirit, energy, and effort and pride of the culture, and do it for the elders. See, the thing is, I think most of them do it for them. And it's not about me. I ain't doing this for me. I'm doing it for the gift that was given to me to do this. So I have to make sure I carry on this for them. Because when they see us on a certain energy level, they be like, yeah, man. And you taking them to use their memory, because the biggest thing in society now, nobody remember nothing. They film a lot, but their muscle memory not good. Like, we all could sit there and be like, man, I remember when. And now with the tech is, well, hold on, and so, that tech is destroying the culture, because everything ain't gonna be fast and just right then and there. You got to put some effort in, some work, and beauty's in eye of the beholder. See, the question is, like, you may like a suit, you may like this, you may like that, but what if you don't like the character of the individual? Is the suit pretty? Is it what it look like or what it is? And that's the value of the culture that, a lot of them, they say it's not competition, it's culture. It's not. Spoke, a little bit of competition, should be more culture though. Like, I'm not competing to beat nobody in their suit, because the only person I look in the mirror is me. I have to beat me. I have to be better for me every day. And when I do these suits, I have to be better for me, and not who's saying, well, this suit is better. Well, okay, what are you doing in the community? Who he helping come up?
Right.
Is he lifting as he climbing, or he just climbing?
Right.
Because one is a lonely number. And to be number one, none of us will be here. Because ain't nobody ever made one child by themselves.
Correct. How you overcome adversity when you don't feel like sewing, or when you don't feel like putting in effort into the culture?
It's cause it's like it's not I don't want to, like I say, time, but it's like I got to. It's not even cause you never know. Everybody think everybody got so many minutes, hours, and seconds. Correct. You only get so many seasons, regardless. God promised you 7 scores and a 10. He said, I'm going to give you 78 years. But what if you surpass it? Or what if you don't make it? That you run a good race? That you just live, or that you live lifting? Because somebody going to remember you. Like, now I remember such and such. And so it's the memory of, because now I'm coming up through the Indian culture. Man, everybody couldn't be no Indian. Everybody couldn't be no Indian. Everybody couldn't put on that suit, because it was for real. Anybody, yeah. And so now, he came with the aesthetics of it, like, we're going to let the hard work be the beauty of the suit, the effort. But what's effort if you ain't sewing it?
Oh.
What's the effort of it if I pay somebody to do something for me? It's a different energy. See, I've been around so long that I could tell if you sold your suit or not. Because if you cutting up out there, and, think about it, and we all can feel, if you made something, you could break it and do it or what?
Do it again.
So that means you going to have a different type of energy. I'm about to cut up, and it might break. Man, he broke down. And I fix it, and I'll be out there the following week. Like, here we go. And so that's the thing where, y'all youngsters like, I'm prettier than him. Well, it depends on who you talking to. Because your suit could be pretty, you standing there talking Indian. Ain't moved yet. Like, oh man, this a game. This a fun time. This supposed to be energy. This supposed to be, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Talk it, hug you, love you, probably have a good day. Now, we go there, but we don't look for it, but we prepare for it.
So it's mandatory, you saying it's mandatory that you play Indian also when I meet you, not just because your suit pretty, you stand there and talk and say you got a pretty suit, but it's mandatory that you play Indian.
You gotta play Indian. Right. Because that's easy to stand there and sound pretty. A float, it hit corners. Second line hit streets.
Talk to me.
same culture, same energy. Parade is parade, but second line different parade.
For sure.
So yeah, they go to spots. Floats don't go to these spots.
Right.
But they have a what? Parade. With a bunch of people out there. So you come to parade or you come to perform and be a Mardi Gras Carnival Indian. Like, what do you come and do?
Speaking of Mardi Gras Carnival Indian, do you call it black masking Indian or you call it a Carnival Indian?
I call it indigenous art.
Elaborate on it.
Black art. Because to say it's just for Mardi Gras, you have to understand the reasons behind it. Black people couldn't participate in the Mardi Gras for a long time until they desegregated like 1971 or something like that. And so this was the carnival that existed within the black community. That's why the guy, the song Carnival Time, he don't say Mardi Gras, he say Carnival. He couldn't go on Bourbon Street and play. He was on Playground.
Correct.
So his carnival is an indigenous thing that exists within the Southern Caribbean and those Caribbean towns, because you have to understand, most slaves that came to New Orleans came from Haiti. And so that rhythm, that drum, that African beadwork, like, it's different than quote unquote American Indians. You know, and I say that because indigenous, they'll never say the copper colored people is the originals. And we know who the original is, because black can make any color, white can't make any color.
For sure.
And that's just the reality of it. You can say, I'm just sorry. And once you start putting facts and reality and thought with it, and this technology age, a lot of things are being exposed. And so you have to understand the culture was within these communities for the black people to participate in. It just so happened to be Mardi Gras, because Mardi Gras was a day of basically philanthropy, meaning everybody could hit the streets. And so, but then on the same accord, you had to be off the streets by a certain time.
Yeah.
And so you go out in the morning, so by a certain time you got to be out. Cause like right around when Tootie passed, like, man, we had an issue after Katrina with the police uptown. They're trying to put people out the streets, and it's like, nah. And this man basically died in the chambers, you know, talking about how, you know, this is something that New Orleans didn't push, but now after Katrina is valued. It's valued because it brings something to the city that who benefits from. It's money now. They make money off saying, well, look, come see this, because you'll never see it nowhere in the globe.
Correct.
But here.
Speaking of Mardi Gras, do y'all go across the river on Mardi Gras Day, or you stay in the Algiers?
No, Algiers. Because it's about the community.
Correct.
It's not about people being seen. And that's the thing why I think a lot of they want to go under the bridge and this area. Well, what about your area? Why your area? And you saying, well, it's hot over there. Well, last I checked, the sun is up, shining on us all, one way.
Right.
But then again, you know, the city's funny, because this is the only city you got to go east to go west. You call it the Westbank because you're going southeast Louisiana, but I don't know. It's just me. I can see it different. And to go over there would be a disrespectful to Algiers. Because I done had old ladies coming down the street, old lady come out the house sliding her feet trying to see us.
Correct.
Tell me, man, thank you, man.
Because y'all entertaining y'all area.
Yeah, it's about the people, man. It's about the community. It's not about us going to be seen. Because if you look, you're going to find it. And if it's value, you're going to come and see it.
For sure.
And we go to the river. And, you know, Super Sunday and things of that nature, you know, uptown, downtown. Even went to the Ninth Ward about a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I remember that for that
and
Saturday.
So, and, you know, we just here to support the culture because the culture needs some type of consistency. And here these guys from Algiers, and most of them don't really come out Super Sunday in Algiers. And I don't trip. It's not even personal like that with me. Because to much is given, much is required. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so as long as we showing up and participating and representing the culture, I'm good. Like, you come, you don't, man, look, we gonna show up. That's it. And so, you know, I just try to make sure, because you gotta remember, Algiers, like the oldest city in this great New Orleans area, Algiers was here before New Orleans.
Yeah.
People don't understand that Algiers is 8 feet above sea level. This is where they brought the slaves. They think about Algiers. The only other place you have Algiers is Algeria, the capital of Algiers, the capital of Algeria in northern Africa. Okay, so all of a sudden you're just gonna bring it over here.
And the slaves got out the slave ship right there at Algiers Point, correct?
Yes, sir, right there by the bus barn. So this was considered the black land.
Correct.
All right, and so that's why, you know, land of the black. So this kind of been going on a certain way in Algiers. And then Algiers is above sea level. New Orleans is below sea level. And so it was here. And those slaves built over there. All right? Because you have to remember, like New Orleans, like I told you, it's a funny city. You know, it's the French Quarter, but it's Spanish-built buildings. Because you got to remember, the French had it, Spanish, then the French. So that's Spanish-built, because the original French Quarter burnt down.
How long you been masking for?
Oh, 44 years. Been rolling since I was 4 years old. And, you know, Dad was the big chief since then, and I've been rolling since 4, man. Like, I can count on my hands the years I may miss. And I just think 2020, other than that, every year, let's get it. Like, you know, and that's the biggest thing, consistency. Now, you know, every 2, 3 years you come with a suit. Like, that's easy. That's what makes the task difficult, because now you have 365 days to create something that you created, but better. So now your time is, but then, you know, when you think of time, you know, you just got to be thankful that you get it, an opportunity to happen. And so now, you know, like, it seemed like pressure. It's pressure, but pressure make diamonds too. And so you got to dig deep and sacrifice, you know, like myself, I kind of do like maybe 3, 4 months, because I don't have all year like that. You know, I got 5 children, 2 jobs, you know, community stuff, you know, it's just a lot of things, but I'm making a point to make sure I hit that street.
So your suits be flat patches or it's 3D?
Flat. So we do, so like my style, like we do, like you kind of see, we do flat, because, you know, downtown have a style, uptown have a style. So, you know, some more or less do, downtown you do more sequence and more buildings, you know, Tootie, he built aesthetic, so they built off. And uptown was more beaded. So, you know, in Algiers, we're going to do more sequence and beads, so we're going to kind of make a gumbo. You know, my song, Diving in that Gumbo, we diving in, we wildin'. That's how we coming. The future is unknown, but it's good. That's
so,
all you know.
Do you sew red Indians? Did you sew red Indians in the past? What's your take on it now, if you don't mind me asking?
I sew brown, man. Man, that's how brown, red, you know. I don't put a color context on it, you know, because I go Ghostface Killer on it. I show a white face. Once I paint up, it's different.
All right.
You heard? The spirit world now. Now I'm going to the cloud. Let the ancestors grab me. Let them move me. You know, let your feet tap dance to their heartbeat. It's not about you. It's never about me. Ever. And that's the one thing I think that the culture is about the individuals. No, man, it's about the culture that was blessed to you, because we have to make sure the next group try to hold this for another 100+ years. Because if not, you know, gentrification is real.
And with your tribe, was you born into the tribe or you was born into it?
I was born into it. Like I told you, my great uncle started the tribe in 1941. They started originally at the Parakeet Hunters, then in 45 they came back and went to Mohawk Hunters. And we've been Mohawk Hunters ever since.
So I know you told me you're the first chief and your father is the big chief. But if you have someone in your tribe and they wanted to start their own gang, what's the process they go about if they wanted to leave your gang and start their own gang?
That has been done. As long as you get the blessing of the big chief, you're good to go. And if you don't, you got trouble. It's not personal, but you know the rules. Many have tried,
right?
But Mohawk Hunters, it's Algiers land, and it's a big gang, and you know you can leave, but you know, still all love. I ain't mad at you.
All right.
In the end, but as long as you talk to my chief, we good.
So you saying no matter how the cut go, chief gonna give you
the blessing
to start your own gang.
If you want to do that, you do that. You know, because the problem is now everybody want to be a chief, nobody want to be an Indian no more.
Correct.
They don't want that. How you going to be a leader, but you don't want to be a follower? How you going to get people to follow you? Man, what we talking about, man? All we doing. And a lot of them, man, I don't like the way, well, hold on, did you sit down and have a conversation with the man? Why you don't like the direction? What have you seen to make you say what he has done is wrong? Because if I teach you how to do something, I ain't teach you to say you're never going to get better than me. I'm teaching you so you can be better than me. Yeah. Like, I'm not teaching to say I'm the best. I'm teaching to say, man, because 2 things about it. People are proud of themselves, but they're more proud of their children.
Correct. Coming up, not to cut you off, I'm sorry about that. Coming up, how did you come in the tribe? You came as a spy boy, you was a flag, you was a wild man. You always started as a little chief.
I started in the back. So I started in the back, and then over time, then I'd go to the front, spy boy, then flag boy, to learn all the positions and understand the value of the whole tribe. And so for the past, like 20, 25 years, I was flag boy. So that's the eyes of the big chief. The flag tell him what's going on. Spy boy shoot the signal, flag boy catch it. And so to be the eyes of the chief, because he control you. You gotta remember, most people think you gotta be in front to control. No, you're in the back controller. Because being raised under him, I know his temperament. I know what he don't like and what he do like. Who he will meet and who he not gonna meet. And so now it got us up here from the front. Because I'm not gonna do nothing in the front that disrespect the chief in the back.
Correct.
His hands. I know we gonna have this conversation. Boom, tell we doing that, just the route. Boom, shoot out. We know the rules. Come within a block. Tighten up. Chief say meeting. Yeah, if not meeting, go your way. Two not there, you go your way. I go my way.
Right.
Because everybody can't meet our big chief. Nah, for what? For what? You been sawing for 3 years. Go get your big chief for what? You ain't wasn't looking for him last year. You had t-shirt and jeans on. What you looking for him now for? Don't play with me, man. Not playing, man. Listen, man. There's an order to this, man. I'm dead. And I'm serious because a lot of them think, well, I ain't coming out this year. All right, cool. So now when you come back, you might want to be humble. You know, you might have time, but you might want to humble yourself. Man, get your big chief for what? I seen you with t-shirt and jeans on. Your Balenciagos on or something. Looking pretty. You ain't no suit on. Don't play with me, man. Get him for what? You ain't got no gray hair fit. You got time. Be mad before you're born. And like I told you, Indians who mastered in the 90s are real Indians. 80s, the drugs hadn't beat the community up yet. See, in the 90s, now I watch great chiefs fall victim to a lot of drugs.
The drugs,
yeah. And that hurt the culture from a different realm. So if you the ones who was in the 90s who kept it going, I have a different admiration for you. Like, because you could easily say I ain't doing it.
Right.
But you didn't. And you kept going.
Overcame adversity.
And, you feel me? And so then it comes to Katrina now. So 90s, 2 for drugs, mass incarceration, murder, and water's a tough place.
Correct.
And so now who has time to sew an Indian suit when I can go make money? So now, you know, like, come on. And so then Katrina hit, and then what you call them come out? Tremate. And so that exposed the culture on a different level. And it's like people say, well, hold on, I thought all the cowboys killed all the Indians. They didn't kill them all.
Right.
They got some that man to make it. And so with that, and so now it's intriguing now. Now the city sees value in it now. I'm talking about how they say the stone that the builder refused to be the head cornerstone. This was a culture y'all despised and hated, but yet still, it's the soul of Mardi Gras. It's just the soul of y'all greatest holiday. It's just the soul of it. That's it.
Speaking of Mardi Gras, what time do y'all sing Indian Ray for?
Well, we normally used to get out there early in the morning, but, you know, due to the community change, like we might crank up probably like 10:30, 11. So people who go on to see the Zulu go to the river, but then, you know, we try to give something after that day just to come roll through the Algiers. You know, we roll all day. Like we might finish like 6, 7 that night, but we're going to roll all day. Got different stops throughout the Algiers community. And so, you know, everybody think the early bird get the worm. It depends on what worm you're looking for. I may not be hungry. I just want to satisfy the what? The people. So, you know, people think you're trying to eat. I'm not trying to eat. I'm trying to survive. Trying to make sure the spirit of this thing keep going. That people say, man, they got something going on over here that's not bought or sold. And we say can't be bought, it won't be sold. Man, there ain't no price tag you can put on what I'm doing. Because I'm doing it because I love this, you know, from the heart. And this culture was given to me. And it's bigger than Nino Brown. It's bigger than us. Somebody gonna tell a story about it. Because I could tell you stories in the book called Jockimo, how they said in the Picayune they had an article in like 1880 something, how the Indians got into it with a couple of white boys in Algiers. And it's like, whoa. So it's been going on, because you have to understand the Indian culture come from not just the Indians helping the blacks. Some of the Indians were actually black. Like they kind of, you have to understand America during these racial tensions, the only free people of color were Indians, not black people. So if I put on a Indian suit under African regalia, then I could hit the what? The streets and have a cone. So I had to trick the narrative to get to what I wanted. Right. And so it's Indian. But what's an Indian? Is the question. It's an indigenous individual with African culture experience within it, because an Indian is like being called a nigger. Because Columbus said he was looking for the West Indies and went to Haiti. What? How we even get in it? Because it's indigenous. But, you know, it depends on your language barrier, on how you gauge it. And so that's the thing that we have to understand. Like, this is a history and a culture that's bigger than a lot of things we may ever even talk about. But see, I'm a history teacher, so I could take it down a minute level on what happened within, like, when you think about Florida, or you think about West Florida, you think of Pensacola, right? But did you know Florida came all the way to Baton Rouge prior to the land grafting changes that was created? There's a lot of history. So within West Florida, it was the Seminole Indians. Seminole Indians are black Indians. And then you have Turtle Island. New Orleans, the only city you had to go through water. There was no land that could grab you to this city. That's why we have the longest bridges in the world, over lakes, over waters in America. It's just an accident, but you know, it depends.
What, for anyone that's watching it that they don't know, can you elaborate on Indian Red? What it's for, what it do, what it mean?
Well, it's a prayer, a spiritual prayer for the upheaval and the thanking of the ancestors that bless you with this opportunity. And so when you sing it to get your, you know, now here I am come to master unmasked, meaning who I am and who I'm about to be is two different realms. Because now the spirit is talking to me. Like, just imagine if I'm 6 feet tall, I put on a crown, I'm 8 feet tall. Now I'm a giant amongst men. Like, who gets that opportunity without being braggadocious? I don't even have to say I'm pretty. She gonna say, you pretty. Then I'm gonna tell you the one thing I like. Old cat told me a long time ago. He said, you don't even hear this word. He said, man, you sharp as a motherfucker. Sharp. Boy, listen, boy, I hadn't heard sharp in so long. All I could do is smile. I said, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Because sharp, you know, you got to be real New Orleans to know what sharp is. Like, I don't, you know, you can take it how you want. But he said, man, you sharp. And I was like, damn, man. And, you know, we got elders coming to you and older folks and just people like, man, you're nice, bro. You know, you're doing your due diligence. You're doing your work. Then, you know, that's all you you really hope for is, you know, just to get, and I ain't going to say praise, but recognition that, man, look, he trying to hold on a culture that lasted hundreds of thousands of years. Think about it, America couldn't defeat it. And America could defeat some things. They could put some things down.
I know you're sitting here sewing. What's the going price you usually spend on a suit every year?
It varies. Me personally, I try to make a cutoff point. Like, I'm not trying to spend $3,000. Now I might do $225, but that's the price of the material, the aesthetics. But the effort, the energy, and creativity is priceless.
Do you get any sponsors from the city or anyone that help donate towards you purchasing?
No, man. And that's the thing where, you know, it's a yeah and a no with that, because if you pay me, I mean, I owe you. But if I'm plausible and possible and do it myself, I owe you nothing but a conversation. I don't owe you nothing. And that's where the game is funny, because, you know, sponsored, nah, you know, have a limit. Don't, because, you know, just a matter if they give you, keep giving you. Then when they take it, you can't what? Afford it now.
Correct.
What's the value of that?
Yeah.
Like, now you telling me when I could do it. Nah, I asked you for permission. And it's me. And if I ain't got enough, then I'm gonna do enough.
Right.
I ain't doing that. If I ain't got enough. I got enough for this, and this. I'm doing this, and this, that. That's it. Like, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not about to, man, because what people think and what I know, man, they always say you can learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle up, it's the law. You can learn a lot. Watch them crash dummies and don't put the seatbelt on. You can say, damn, these. So sometimes saying less and doing more has more value. And, you know, it's like, you know, look for help and looking like, man, you know, we need help. Like, nah, man. Because they want to help not because it has value to them.
Correct. And
it has more spiritual and cultural value to us. And we have to know that. We can't just say, man, the money. Well, you know, money is funny. Yeah, you know, we in economical times. You got, you know, tariffs, feathers high, stones, bees. You know, so it's like you trying to tax me out on doing something that was gifted to me by the elders and the ancestors. Like, how that go? And you know, so I kind of try to have a real obtuse thought process.
I know the big chiefs usually ring and sing, and we brought our tambourine with us, bro. I wanted to know if I could get a chant or two in, if you don't mind.
A chant or two?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you like this. And that's only because I love you. I'm not gonna give you that, cause to see it is one thing. To feel it, whole different group. You want to come see it, you gotta come dive in that gumbo Algiers style. You gotta come feel it, cause I don't got my tribe, I don't got my gang, so I need all that energy for me to be what I need to be.
Right, and it's understandable.
And it's all love, cause you asked me a question, I gave you my answer. Like I can't, because my big chief not here. Right. Chief get the glory. Everybody else tell the story. Chief get the glory about the big chief.
Right.
My big chief ain't here, and there'll be a, you know, we have different conversations.
Nah, you
know, and so it's all love, but you know, but nah, you know, and that's just how, that's the respect I have, because, like I said, the much is given, much is required, and you know, I'm a young Indian, you know, with old time ways, and you know, and I just want my Indian culture and my Indian people to know that, man, look, you know, it's bigger than the soup. It's about the community.
I appreciate your time. Before we leave, let them know your name, let them know your gang, and which position you play in the game.
First Chief Zulu, Mohawk Hunters, Crosstown Brown. You heard me, like a dog. We outside, we in there, we coming to do that. And look, for my man Al, see how he hustle? Listen, we go way back like Black Cat. I'm telling y'all, I'm serious. But hey, man, hey, that's where we are. The Mohawk Hunters, Algiers, bound.